lot of interesting things are happening in the freight industry right now, and I'm going to talk about what's going on with used trucks, what's going on with the spot market, what's going on generally with inventory levels and how it affects our economy and the freight industry. And then I'm going to give you guys 3 or 4 tips on how to survive this current freight market.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I...
Do you have questions about starting a trucking business? Box truck or CDL, I've done both. I can help you start your trucking business or grow your business so that you can buy more trucks. Use the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Now let's get to the video. A lot of you probably saw the article. There's a great website called freightwaves.com, and last week they published an article and it was all about a great purge pushing small trucking business owners out of the market. There's some interesting things happening with used trucks right now. If anybody bought a truck in 2020 or early to mid 2021, you already know that truck prices have skyrocketed since like the middle of 2021. But interestingly, the price of used trucks seems to be declining, especially in the past 2 or 3 months. Here's some stats and facts. Trucks that are 3 to 5 years old are still selling for like 57% more than they were exactly 1 year ago, which means that if you bought a truck for $40,000 in May of 2021, then you're gonna buy the exact same truck for $63,000 today. And that's a truck that's like 3 to 5 years old. Trucks even older than 5 years are selling for an even increased percentage of what they used to be selling for. For example, trucks that are older than 5 years are selling at 82% more today than they were 1 year ago. So what does that mean? A truck that you might have sold for $30,000 last year, you would sell today for $54,000. That's why if you go on Penske or Ryder or commercialtrucktrader.com and you try to find a used truck, they're all like twice as much as they were a year ago. It's crazy. So that's 1 year ago, but something interesting has been happening for the past couple months. So truck prices have obviously increased year over year, but if you look at the data from May to April, trucks are actually selling for less than what they were in April. Specifically, 2020 used trucks sold for 11% cheaper in May than they did in April, which means that if you bought a truck for $70,000 in April, you can expect to buy the same truck for only $62,000 in May. So what that means is that the price of used trucks seems to be declining. Reason for that, maybe more trucks are entering the market. Why are more trucks entering the market? I believe it's because owner-operators are going out of business. They're basically trying to sell the trucks that they bought a year ago or 2 years ago because they're not able to be profitable. They're not able to stay in business in the current market. Also, as everybody knows, the spot market is continuing to decline. We saw a peak of the spot market in January 2022. But pretty consistently since February 2022, the spot market has been declining by about 30 cents per month in April and March. And the spot market continued to decline an additional 20 cents per mile in May, which means 30 plus 30 plus 20, which means in just 3 months, the spot market declined by 80 cents per mile on average. So if you were booking loads for $3 a mile back in February, now you're only booking loads for $2.20 per mile. I believe this is all happening because of inventory. Now this is very important. Everybody experienced significant supply chain issues in 2021. They were struggling to get inventory. People thought that because of the shutdowns and because of stores thought that people would be buying less stuff in 2021. But it turns out, for some reason, whatever the reason is, maybe it was stimulus checks or other things, people actually bought more things in 2021. So stores had supply chain issues, so they weren't able to get inventory in 2021, and people were buying things like crazy. So in order to keep up with people buying things and slower supply chain issues, warehouses and stores like Amazon, Target, Walmart, they had to stock up. They had to buy more things. So they put in a bunch of orders. That's why in 2021, we were getting paid like crazy to move freight because there was so much freight moving around because stores were trying to keep up with people buying stuff like crazy in 2021. But all that came to a screeching halt in 2022. The economy started slowing down, inflation went through the roof. So now people are not buying things as much as they were in 2021, but all these stores put in all these extra orders. So they have all this extra inventory laying around with people not buying it. So now they're halting their orders. So there's not as much freight moving around, which means us as the carriers, us as the trucking companies, we don't have as much work to do, so we're not getting paid as much. Supply and demand. To back up all of this, and these are numbers that I got from the article on freightwaves.com. I'll put a link to the article in the description. To back up all of this, DOT authority revocations hit an all-time high in the month of May. And what I mean by revocations is basically people are canceling their authority because they're going out of business. So we hit a record high in May 2022 with over 9,000 DOT authority cancellation. Interestingly, prior to May 2022, from July 2020 to June 2022, we actually had a record high number of new authorities. We had 195,000 new carriers enter the industry in only 23 months. And what's really interesting, this record shatters the previous record. The previous record was only 86,000. So in the past 23 months, we've had twice as many new authorities as any other 23-month period, which means the industry was just flooded with new carriers, new trucking companies, new owner-operators, and all of that was because the spot market was going like crazy. People were getting paid $4 a mile for 53-foot dry van rates, so people were jumping into the business. But keep in mind, like I just said, in May 2022, we've had the most revocations of DOT authorities, the most cancellations of any month. So we had this huge surge in 2020 and 2021, and now we have the perfect storm. Diesel prices are up, spot market is down, inflation is up, and on top of all that, repairs are up 9%. So we're spending more to fix our trucks, we're spending more for diesel, we're getting paid less. So in May 2022, we had the most DOT authority cancellations of any month. On top of everything, people's insurance premiums are going through the roof. I've heard some people paying as much as double for their insurance policy renewal. And keep in mind, a lot of insurance companies require that you pay 20% down for the whole annual premium. So a lot of guys are spending like $20,000 a year on insurance, and then whenever they go to renew after their first year, they're asked to pay 20%, which for a lot of guys, that's $4,000, and people just don't have that kind of cash laying around. It's a perfect storm. People are going out of business, but you know me, I like to be optimistic. I like to try to stay positive. I like to look at the numbers. So I'm going to give you guys 3 tips on how to survive this great purge, how to survive this freight recession. Number 1, best way to survive this freight recession is try to break even. This is really applicable to guys who have another stream of income. So if this is not your primary stream of income, I would encourage you just try to break even. And the best way to break even is to really understand your cost per mile. Your cost per mile might have been $2 a mile a year ago when we were paying $3 a gallon for diesel, but it's changed now. Now we're paying $6 a gallon for diesel. So now you need to rework your cost per mile, understand your cost per mile, understand the spot market, work with your dispatcher, work with your driver. If you can break even, then you can weather this storm. And something really cool that's gonna happen. I never want people to go out of business. My heart goes out to anybody losing their job, anybody closing their business. I never want to see that happen. But what I do want to see is I want to see you all survive. I want to see you all get through this great purge, this freight recession. So something really cool that's gonna happen. In 3 to 6 months, we're gonna have 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever the number is, we're gonna have less owner-operators on the road. We're gonna have less trucking companies on the road. So what that means is if you can survive, then there's gonna be less of us. That means we're gonna be able to drive the spot market back up. There's gonna be fewer drivers, supply and demand for brokers. If they have less drivers to choose from, we're gonna be able to control the price. They're gonna have to pay us more. So all you need to do, just try to break even and weather this storm. And you're gonna do that by drilling down on the numbers, looking at your cost per mile, and just trying to break even. That's what you can do right now. The second thing It's kind of, hindsight is 2020. I understand that. You need to understand the highs and lows of running a business. You're gonna have really good months. You're gonna have really bad months. Unfortunately, in the past 12 months, we've seen both. We've seen really good months and we've seen really bad months. So whenever you have really good months, as a business owner, that doesn't mean you take a 2-week vacation to the tropical islands. That doesn't mean you go out and buy a brand new sports car. As a business owner, you need to prepare for the highs and lows. So if you have a really good month, save that money, because the next month might be really bad. So if you were smart in 2021 and the first couple of months of 2022, hopefully you were able to save a bunch of money. Now you have reserves. So if this is your main stream of income and you are breaking even, you're able to tap into the reserves from the really good months, and now you're gonna be able to survive. And I understand if you're watching this video now and you're in a position where you're not able to do that, that doesn't help you at all. But the lesson learned moving forward, next time we have a really good market, next time diesel is really low, remember this time, save the money and prepare for the low months. The third thing that I want to leave you with is don't grow too quickly. I only have one truck right now, and I'm very thankful that I did not buy a second truck, because I'll be honest with you, I was running my tractor trailer in February and March. I was about to buy another truck because rates were through the roof. I was getting $3.50 per mile and I was making tons of money. It was awesome. And I was seriously gonna get another truck, but I'm so thankful I waited. So I would encourage you, don't grow too quickly. Just because we're in a really good 6-month period and you're making a ton of money, be careful getting 3 trucks, 5 trucks, 10 trucks, because the more trucks you get, obviously the more expenses you have, the more overhead you have. And keep in mind that insurance premium renewal. If you get 5 trucks this year, next year you're gonna have to pay 20% of that insurance premium. And if we have bad months, it's a lot easier to weather the storm if you only have 1, 2, or 3 trucks instead of 5, 10, or 15 trucks. I'm not saying don't get more trucks. Obviously that's everybody's goal. That's my goal. I would love to get to 10 trucks. But just don't do it too quickly. I'm actually really thankful that we're all experiencing this freight recession right now. If we can survive this, then we'll be able to survive the next one.